It's Kelly Clarkson here to talk all things Wayfair, the best place to buy furniture, decor, and anything else you can think of to create a home you absolutely love. I know when I shop with Wayfair, I find options for every style, whether I'm feeling boho or farmhouse, modern, traditional, French country. I can find exactly what I need for my home and more. No matter your space, style, or budget, shop Wayfair.com to make your home way more you.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hello, my name's David Seaman, and this is the Three Lions Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Three Lions Podcast. My name is Russell Osborne and this is an independent England football supporters podcast. I hope I find you well. Now I know the podcasts have been a little infrequent of late. I had a holiday, then I returned home to move house. I must say thank you to those of you who got in touch to ask if everything was okay. There hadn't been a release for a while. That was appreciated, thank you. There were a few of you. But I've unpacked my microphone and various bits and bobs. I found a room suitable. I'm hoping that it's not too echoey, as it still needs a bit of furnishing, so bear with me on that front, please. I've also got a train line, not a million miles away, so I'm hoping that the occasional train along the Hertford East branch line doesn't interrupt things too much either. Now, the last recording I released was the England transfer window episode with host of the Gate 102 podcast, Charlie Tidswell. I hope you enjoyed that. In fact, I met up with Charlie up in Birmingham for the Andorra game. Great to meet you in person, Charlie, and have a drink with. Likewise, many others. Hi to Alfie, hi to Gary, lots of Block 109 members too. And as we all discussed, and I think I've mentioned here numerous times before, never let the football spoil a trip wherever you're going. I think that phrase can be used here. Once again, Andorra stifled us. I've no issue with the way they played. They had a game plan and it all pretty much worked for them. But we came away with a win and all 3 points, and I was soon heading back down the M1 on Paul Dennis's coach. So cheers to him and hi to all those who were on board. So I got back home, more boxes to pack the following day, ready for the move on the Thursday, which was a couple of days after the Serbia game. And with said move imminent, there was no way I was going to get away with a trip over to Belgrade. So imagine my confusion when I turned the telly on, surrounded by boxes, for my lovely wife to say, "Oh, England are playing. I thought you would have been there." Could have cut the air with a blunt knife, I'll tell you. Anyhow, the game. If I'm honest, I'm in a bit of limbo about it. Great 5-0 away win from home, 3 points as well, but I expected a lot more from Serbia, a lot more. They put very little fight up. I thought they would give us our hardest test, and it now leaves me feeling it won't be until the World Cup until we get that real test, because now, let's be honest, we are pretty much there at the World Cup next year. Only a disaster is going to stop us, and it could happen. But let's be honest, we are there. So yes, great result. Gutted I wasn't there, but I'm still left thinking Tuchel hasn't really seen us when we could be potentially on the ropes. I know obviously we experienced the Senegal game, but it was a friendly, wasn't a game in anger. So I'm still in sort of that limbo of where we stand at the moment. Now, before I get on to the main essence of this episode, please stick around until the end, as I have some exciting news to share with you, which I'm hopeful you can help me out with. But on to this episode. The bulk of it is a recording I did with someone a little while back. I've been wanting to get this one released for a while, but the Women's Euros went on for a little longer than I really anticipated. Then I was trying to organise another contributor for this particular episode, but that didn't happen, didn't materialise. And then, as I said, holiday and house move. Time flies, especially when you don't want it to. And then when you want things to hurry up, time just drags its feet, doesn't it? But let's get on to it. Take yourself back to October 2003. The game in question is Turkey away, to be played in Istanbul on the 11th. Now, the third Matrix movie, The Matrix Revolutions, had opened in cinemas.
Mr. Anderson, welcome back. We missed you.
The occupation of Iraq had begun in March of this year and was in full operation now. Arnold Schwarzenegger would soon be sworn in as Governor of California.
Roll this around on your tongue. Governor-elect Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The 2003 Rugby World Cup had just got underway, a competition that England would go on to win.
It's coming back for Johnny Wilkinson. He drops for World Cup glory. Yes! It's over. He's done it. Johnny Wilkinson is England's hero.
Then Israel and Palestine, they were in conflict. Here we are, 22 years later, sadly, with no resolution on that front. But on a more positive note, Kylie Minogue was number one in the UK singles chart with Slow.
Slow down and dance with me. Yeah. Slow. Skip a beat and move in my body. Yeah. Slow.
On to the football, and England were looking to reach the 2004 European Championships in Portugal. Now, up until now, they'd played 7 games in Group 7, beating Slovakia and Liechtenstein home and away, a draw with Macedonia at home and a victory against them away. And we had beaten Turkey at home in Sunderland, 2-0. It was now coming down to this last game, away to the Turks in Istanbul. A win or a draw, we were through. A defeat, and the Turks were through, and we would be into the playoffs. Now, off the back of that Sunderland game, the FA had jittery feet. They turned down our ticket allocation, and they urged fans not to travel. They were fearful following the home match that had brought about 95 arrests, a pitch invasion, and there was also racist chanting coming from the stands, for which the FA, they were fined £70,000. They were concerned if anything happened in the stands again or within the immediate vicinity, UEFA could impose sanctions which could put the place at Euro 2004, should we get there, in jeopardy. A list of 1,000 known English hooligans was circulated to Turkish airports, where local officers were working with British intelligence in an aim to stop anyone from getting there. 45 individuals attempted to go, but got no further than Istanbul airport. They weren't difficult to identify. Passport stamps marrying up with previous England destinations quickly gave them away. Although obviously not every England fan travelling was intent on causing trouble. Now, it wasn't just off the pitch that the FA had headaches. In the run-up to the game, Rio Ferdinand had been dropped from the squad after he failed to turn up for a drugs test the previous month. The England squad had threatened to go on strike and really put our qualification on the line. I don't want to go too deep into this, as I've previously recorded an episode on this particular event. If you want to tune into that, it's episode 286. It's entitled, when England threatened to go on strike. Go give that one a listen. It will give you all the background information around it. Spoiler alert, they didn't go on strike and the game came around. Sven-Goran Eriksson selected the following starting 11. David James in goal, Gary Neville, John Terry, Sol Campbell and Ashley Cole at the back. Steven Gerrard, Nicky Butt, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Wayne Rooney and Emil Heskey. Italian Pierluigi Collina was the man in the middle. Now the moment of the game came in the 37th minute. David Beckham had the chance to open the scoring following a challenge on Steven Gerrard in the box. Penalty given. Beckham slipped as he struck the ball and it sailed high over the bar. The game would end goalless and England secured their passage to the Euros in Portugal the following year. But it was away from the pitch where the story needs to be told.
Not a venue that Turkey have used very often, but they have played twice here and won twice. David Beckham has scored a goal here for Manchester United. Well, so far, touching wood, fingers crossed, the security aspects have worked very well. I've listened to the lack of reception, if you like, for the national anthem.
Chat with Blackpool and England fan John Walsh, or Walshy, who many of you may know him by. Walshy, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you, Russell. Yes, thanks for inviting me.
No, thanks for agreeing to come on and have a chat. I think we've got some interesting stories that you're going to tell us about Turkey 2003, but it kind of starts before that, doesn't it?
Yeah, obviously, apart from I've been going to England for many, many years, but that particular time, as I've said to a lot of people, England weren't actually banned. It's just the FA didn't take tickets, but they also didn't take tickets for the previous away game, which was in Macedonia. And of course, a lot of England fans had to make their own way there as well and source tickets within Macedonia. So it wasn't just Turkey. And it was just an FA decision. At one time, the FA was saying it was for our own safety. They weren't taking them because of the anti-Western sentiment.
Right.
I mean, at one time, pre-Macedonia, I was at a London England fans meeting, the ones organised by Mark Berryman.
Yeah.
And we had a guy from the FA, and he said that Macedonia, we shouldn't go, because people were riding around on horses with AK-47s looking to shoot Westerners, which obviously we thought, bring it on. We just thought was the biggest load of rubbish you could think of. And of course, in the end, we had a fabulous time there.
Yeah.
So, just like, it's like everything. It was Macedonia was great. And we got the tickets that England had turned down and were supposed to have been donated to schools and orphanages or whatever.
I see.
But we actually bought those tickets via a friend of mine's dad, who's of Serbian origin, and he'd managed to sort all that out for us.
Did the FA sort of find out about that? Would you remember what they thought about that?
Well, yeah, because obviously, you know, the next London England fans, because they used to be every month. So after games like that, you know, we'd be talking about it in the room. If we had a guest from the FA or whoever, you know, we challenged on these things. I mean, I think the way at the time, the FA they were terrified of the whole thing. Whereas if they'd have organised trips and said, look, we're going to do day trips in and out.
Yeah.
We get there, and we thought we'll order some boats and we'll have drinks on the Bosphorus or whatever, and then coach to the ground. That people could have understood that, but to do a blanket ban on taking the tickets, it was going to encourage people to go. Obviously, put a lot of people off, because I think there was only 20 England fans got in to Turkey, but there was several hundred in Macedonia because they all came through from Greece.
I see.
But as I say, I think they shot themselves in the foot, whether that was with their own AK-47s while they were getting off the horses or not. I don't really know.
Oh, nice one. Okay, well, that's a good sort of insight into sort of what happened before Turkey. But Turkey obviously came around. I guess the FA thought there was going to be potential issues following what unfortunately happened with Leeds. Am I right? Yeah.
I think that they did think about it, because obviously the thing with Turkish fans had been going on for many years, because obviously I think when they played Man United, there was all that welcome to hell banners and everything like that. But obviously the tragic events surrounding the Leeds supporters, I mean, there's not much you can really say about that, but I think it was wrong for them to take the stance.
I mean, just fast forwarding on to that, the game in Sunderland. Did you go to that one?
Yes.
You did. Total contrast of sort of emotions there, wasn't there? Because there was a fair whack of Turks inside the stadium that day.
Yeah, well, again, one of my friends who works with a lot of Turkish people, because he's from North London, he had friends who were in the Turkish end, and they were saying it was coming over the tannoy that they're going to be kept in because there's people outside wanted to kill them. Which, although there was a lot, it was a very, very heavy atmosphere. And, there was kicking off here and there and everything. But to actually announce that in Turkish made it even worse.
Absolutely.
But the atmosphere from, the whole build-up to the game, I can't say I've noticed anything like, not even Scotland-England or England-Scotland had an atmosphere like that. Because obviously there would have been a lot of Leeds fans there.
True, yeah.
And I think a lot of inter-club rivalries went out the window that night as well. Whereas we got in there as quick as we could, got out and had a night out in Sunderland or whatever. We had a great time once the football had finished.
Yeah. So at what point then did you think, like you'd heard that the FA said we're not taking tickets. At what point did you think, I went to Macedonia, I'm going to try my luck for Turkey?
Well, I thought about it all the way through. As I say, because I'd not missed an England away game for, I think by that time, 6 or 7 years.
Wow. Yeah.
So there was no way I was going to miss that. And in fact, the meeting with the FA representative for the London England fans, I said to him then, why are you doing this? It's wrong. Everybody wants to go to it, but you're punishing us for something we've not done. I just think they were scared.
And let's be clear, you weren't going with the intention of causing trouble.
No, of course not. No.
Yeah. So what did they say to that?
They just said, we think it's for your own safety that you shouldn't go. But as we'll find out later on, the Turkish people we came in touch with were fine. Yeah. The only issues we had with any Turkish supporters were the Turkish supporters who lived in England,
right,
were travelling from North London or wherever, because they said they'd been pulled by the police. They had to prove they were Turkish fans, they had to prove this, and that they weren't England football williams. And I said, but that's not why there's been a ticket ban. It was not because of any hooliganism on behalf of, because at the time England had built up a very good name for themselves again.
Yeah.
Because post-Japan, it was well noted in the press that England fans were now more of an ambassador than an invading army. I was always going to go.
Go on then. So take us on the journey. How did it all go? Because there's quite a few stories along the way, isn't there?
Yeah, well, what we'd done is we thought, we're not going to get a direct flight to Turkey, because obviously when the police are patrolling the airports, they'll stop us when we're checking in.
Yeah.
And would have stopped us from flying. And also, even if we'd have got through there, we'd have been coming from a flight direct from Heathrow or whatever when we landed in Istanbul. So we could have got turned around then. So what we did is we flew via Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
But in the build up to that, I got a phone call from Sky Sports News, and they asked if they could interview me. And they came around my house and filmed me. They pixelated my face.
Okay.
So when it went out on TV, my face was pixelated. And the way Sky Sports found out about me was at the London England fans meeting. There's a reporter from Radio 5 called Gordon Farquhar. And he interviewed me. And we had a long chat because he'd said, I can guess you're going to Macedonia, but I bet you're not going to Turkey. And I said, I am. And so we went through a few things then. Didn't give anything away, didn't give any routes away or anything like that. Sky Sports, as I say, came round. And the ironic thing was, in the morning, I watched myself on TV and I was pixelated. On the way to work, I got a call from somebody who worked for the same firm as me, but in Switzerland. And he said, I've just seen you on the telly. And I said, how could you say it was me? He said, because I recognised you. I said, but I was pixelated. He went, not in Switzerland. So the chances are anybody non-UK would have seen who it was. But there was no issues came about it. But then I had the Sunday Times contacted me. And in fact, the day we were flying, Channel 5 rang me. They got my number. And we were at Heathrow, but it was full of Irish fans going to Switzerland.
Oh, they had a game there, did they?
Yeah, they had a qualifier there as well.
Right.
And so it was great that we could be with the Western football fans were going somewhere. So we thought we'd just blend in with them.
Mm.
But one of the Irish fans said to me, oh, how are you getting to Istanbul? I said, what makes you think we're going to Istanbul? He said, well, look around. And everybody in the bars had Irish football shirts on. Whereas myself and my friends, we're the only ones with CP Company or Stone Island tops on.
Gotcha.
He said, we can tell you go in there. He said, it's just obviously the police don't realise that. So we changed in Switzerland, got to Istanbul about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, got straight through immigration to our hotel.
There was no checks then, because obviously we read about, like, I've done my research saying that everyone was kind of checked that went through the airport.
Yeah, well, perhaps been about 1 o'clock in the morning, and the flight was coming from Switzerland. They weren't expecting anybody.
Yeah.
Because we had to pay for a visa when we got there, but immigration never said anything to us.
Okay.
And we were meeting some friends from Leicester, and they'd got there a little bit earlier, but they'd flown in from Italy, and they didn't have any problems either.
So it was easy. It seems quite easy to sort of circumnavigate and get in.
Well, it's like a lot of things that if you come the most obvious way, that's what they're planned for. It's as if the authorities don't have any other foresight of, well, would they fly another way? Would they do this? Would they do that?
Yeah.
And, they don't realise that the majority of England fans...
We're quite clever, aren't we?
Yeah, that's it, because we'll always look for the best prices.
Yes.
We'll always look for this. We'll always look for that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, you probably yourself know, Russell, that when we've got a date for a friendly, a lot of people have been going for a lot of years, can work out who the friendly's going to be before it's announced. Because they'll say, oh, we've not played so-and-so away for X number of years. We played him 2 years ago at home. So
reverse fixture,
so-and-so, a friendly. And you get a flight for 30 odd quid. Then the moment it's announced, it goes up to £230.
Yeah, don't we know it?
Yeah. And so you're quite happy to lose 30 quid, you know, just so it doesn't go in the, you're not paying out the 230.
True. So, yeah. Well, so you'd got into Turkey then.
Yeah.
But the main thing is, you are obviously the objective is to go to the game, which needs a ticket. You haven't got a ticket because the FA didn't obviously give any out.
That's right. So we knew we'd have to try and source a ticket. And in the morning of the game, Channel 5 who'd run me at Heathrow came to our hotel and took us to around Taksim Square, filming us.
Right.
And whilst we were there with them, ITN News phoned me. Yeah, it was crazy.
Phones like ringing up, like lighting up.
Yeah. Oh, we know somebody who's there. Oh, get in touch with them. And the ITN journalist was originally from Blackpool as well.
Ah, right.
And so she'd worked on Blackpool local radio. And so we were filmed there in a cafe or whatever. But we had to get to the other side of the Bosphorus because the game was in the east, was in Asia.
Right.
We spent the afternoon at the Hilton in the bar and with Kevin Miles from the Football Supporters Association. And he was saying to us, stay here, don't go to the game. You know, a lot of people were worried, but, you know, there was no antagonism. That it wasn't like a normal England game.
Yeah.
It was very, very different. You know, there was no 200 or 300 blokes around a bar in the square with flags out. So it was quite alien in a way. Yeah. You know, we were, I suppose, the media, because there was nothing to talk about. It was great for them that they found me and my four friends, especially that we were willing to be interviewed as well. Because the way I looked at it was, once I was in the country, I didn't have a problem. Although, you know, I'd featured in the Sunday Times the week before and they just called me John. But on the day after the game, they called me John Walsh.
Oh, right.
They said, following up on our thing about the Blackpool England fan, you're going to Turkey. We can say you made it, you got back, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. So from that respect, it was very, very different. But, you know, it wasn't one of these whereby, I mean, we went to the Hilton after the game and people like Ron Atkinson were in there. There was lots of people from the media, but they must have found it different as well.
Yeah,
you know, Ron Atkinson was sitting there in food and he's not getting bothered for autographs or people coming up, can I take a picture here?
Yeah.
They probably thought it was great. So we got a boat across and on the way to the ground, we got stopped by a local who offered us tickets. At the price of the tickets, you know, I said, they can't be real. And he went, no, they're fake.
Right.
But we didn't know what a real one looked like anyway. So we took our chance, bought the tickets, and the 5 who got the tickets, we all got in the ground. 3 got into seats. But the end I was in, with my mate, we couldn't get to the seats because we had to put through an electronic barrier and it kept rejecting the ticket.
Okay, well, from what I remember or reading up of it, wasn't there like various checkpoints to go through with your ticket? Was there didn't they call it like a ring of steel around the ground? How did you manage to get through there?
Well, what it was, just outside the ground, again, there was a canal or something, and there was a little bridge leading up to it, and that was just everybody had to walk through 2 rows of police, but nobody was actually stopping saying, show us your tickets, show us your tickets. But when I got to the ground, we had to go through a doorway that was full of police and stewards. And they stopped me, and they went, "You're English?" And I went, "No, I'm Canadian."
Oh, right.
And I thought, I'll say Canadian because nobody in the history of the world finds anything wrong with Canadians. They always seem neutral to everything.
Yes.
And so they asked for my passport, but I said it was at the hotel. So they had a word with each other, and in the end, he just shrugged and gave me a ticket and let me in.
Fair. And they didn't query your tickets? It obviously looks fine.
Yeah, well, this is what I thought. But it was only once they got in and I had to go through a turnstile that didn't accept the barcode.
Oh, yeah.
And so it kept on rejecting it. So in the end, I watched the game inside the ground, but in the Fenerbahce Supporters Club, which the British press were using, because they'd only let one representative from each TV station or newspaper into the ground itself. So you had lots of people sitting in the Supporters Club, drinking, watching the game on the big screen. So we watched it with them.
So you were within the ground, but you couldn't see the pitch. You were in some... Oh, right, it's in some sort of room. Okay.
Yeah. It was actually, I'll say, the Fenerbahce Supporters Club, which was packed.
Was it?
But there was a table in a corner with about 30 English press journalists or whatever, media, and me and my mate. Because one of the other lads, he got stopped as we came in.
Yeah, because you said there was, arrested. 5 of you?
There was 5 of us, yeah. And I say one got pulled and he got taken back to our hotel, had to empty his stuff, and they took him back to the police station and took him out and took him home on the next available flight.
Oh,
yeah. Also, he did leave me a note to say he'd sort me out for the minibar, which he emptied and took all the bottles and cans to keep him company at the airport. So, so it was like he didn't get deported stamped in his passport or anything.
Just politely told to go home.
Yeah, instead, what they did is they let him watch the game at the police station.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so there's another couple of England fans in there as well. So they were stopping people, but obviously it wasn't as Ring of Steel as they made it out to be. And the night before, although it was very late when we went out for a drink near our hotel, the restaurant, cafe, bar we were in, the owner of that gave us his business card and said if we had any trouble the next day with authorities, to get them to ring me, which fortunately we didn't have to.
No.
But again, it was just another thing of showing that not everybody wanted to kill us, like the FA had said.
Yeah. So you watched the game on the TV in this room. Could you hear the supporters in the ground?
Oh, you could, yeah.
Because obviously Beckham missed a penalty, didn't he?
That's the roar when that happened was crazy. You'd have thought they'd scored the winner in the 91st minute or something like that. But it was pure the penalty miss. And again afterwards, we went back to the same place for a drink and some food. And with the owner's granddad was running us through David Beckham's penalty constantly. He was just running up and slipping and falling. It was so funny. But and outside afterwards, there was a massive atmosphere, but there's no aggression. Whether it's because it was at Fenerbahce as opposed to Galatasaray, I don't know.
Right.
And it could be one of those things like, in the UK, some teams won't go to an England game because of another team who's going to be there or whatever.
Yeah.
And, Galatasaray probably, especially when England travelled around the country, whereas so it might be that Galatasaray won't go to Fenerbahce when Turkey are playing.
Gotcha. Yeah, possible.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
And, Besiktas as well. Maybe the same thing.
Possibly. Yeah. And I'm thinking as well, I'm guessing afterwards, because through drawing that game, England qualified for the Euros, I believe, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, and obviously Turkey didn't qualify. I think they'd have to go on to the playoffs. So I guess they were pretty subdued anyway coming away.
It was probably subdued because they wanted to win. Just getting a goalless draw. No, it was, again, it's one of those things. I'm glad I did it. It's a pity there wasn't more England fans able to do it. Because it does make me think, if the same numbers had gone that went to Macedonia, what would the authorities have done? I don't think they'd have done a mass deportation. I think they would have found a way to get 200 or 300 in the ground and segregate it. But I'll just say, it was, in a way, it was a bit of a non-event in that respect. In a way, it's a little bit boring when you saw, we just went here to there, then we did this.
Yeah.
And then we sat around the table in a supporters club watching the game.
You got there, and that was the objective, and you came away with like the badge of honour, really, didn't you?
Well, yeah. To be honest, there was no recrimination when I went to put because at the time I was a top capper in the supporters club. They did say, if we find out people have been, we're going to ban them, kick them out of the club. Oh. But it was a lot of rubbish.
Yeah.
I mean, I did get kicked out later, but that's a totally different story.
Maybe we'll come to that another time.
Perhaps, yeah. But it was, I did it. One of only a few people who did do it. I don't begrudge anybody not doing it. It doesn't make me more of an England fan than them. There's nothing special about it. It's just that I took a shot. At the end of the day, we could have been stopped at Heathrow.
Yeah. And
I wouldn't have been able to claim the flights back, hotels or whatever. So I was just lucky in the end that we got in there. And then, of course, I ended up speaking to you. No, thanks very much for inviting me. I've enjoyed it.
No, thank you. All right, take care.
Cheers, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much to Walshy there for his time. And once again, I apologise to him for the length of time it's taken me to sort this episode out. But I hope you enjoyed his story. Perhaps also you made the trip. How far did you get? Were you one of the ones who was turned back? Let me know. Also, if you've got a story about your England travels, again, let me know. Drop me a line. 3lionspodcast@gmail.com, or you can do it on the socials. If you're on the likes of Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, give the show a follow. Send me a message there. It'd be great to hear from you. Okay, now I have some exciting news to share with you. The FCA's, the Football Content Awards, is something you may have heard of. It's an awards ceremony celebrating the best in online football media, recognising and rewarding all content creators and online media companies in football, from the independent creators to the media organisations, the small ones and the large ones. Now, I've been aware of it for some time now. Back when I took the podcast over in 2017, 2018 time, I saw my name up in lights, thought it'd be nice. I applied, nothing materialised. So I just carried on doing my thing, putting this podcast together in the way that I enjoy doing it, and I know you enjoy and appreciate it too. And I didn't really give the FCA's much more thought, to be honest, until now. in amongst a backlog of emails that I hadn't really had the time to properly look at, I found one saying the podcast had been nominated and shortlisted in the Best Podcast International category, which came as a surprise, I can tell you. If that was you who nominated the show, thank you very much. Now, last year, the Gold Award was won by A Celtic State of Mind. You may know it as ACSOM. Silver Award was the Italian Football Podcast, and the Bronze Award went to the Other Three Amigos podcast. Once again, there is a strong lineup of nominees, which, to be honest, is fantastic. It's wonderful to be mentioned amongst. But here is where I need your assistance. If the pod has been nominated, let's go for it. Let's aim for the stars. And it appears the winners will be decided by a 50-50 split. 50% judge votes and 50% fan votes. So that's you, 50% fan votes. Now, the fan voting opened on Monday the 22nd of September. And you can vote via the FCA website, Instagram and X. I'll give you that in a moment, how to do it. And it will close on Sunday the 12th of October. So how can you vote, I hear you ask? How can I do it? Where do I go, Russell? Let me tell you. Head to the footballcontentawards.com. Click how to vote. Find the Three Lions podcast in the international section and place your mark. On Instagram, you can find them at football.content.awards. Just search Football Content Awards. And on Twitter or X at _FCAS. The FCAs. Now, it appears you can vote once via either platform. So you can spread all your votes out. 3 votes. 1 on the website, 1 on Instagram, 1 on Twitter. And it goes without saying, if you see anyone else who you listen to in any of the other categories, give them a vote too. But let's see if we can seal off the international section for ourselves. It's been a good year. Looking back, it's made me look back and realise what the podcast has put out. There's been plenty of episodes, ones including where I spoke with people from each of the hosting World Cup countries. We've done 3 of those episodes. I spoke with former under-21 international Nigel Callaghan. There was the Jude Bellingham episode. We've looked at walking football, of course the Lionesses, Amar England. Andy Milne joined us, you know, that World Cup guy. Loads of great episodes that have come your way. And also England Shirt Day, which was a real great success. And it's all down to you guys for continuing to listen and support the show. Even that, to me, is enough. But if we can have a little gong as well, why not? So yeah, go place your vote. I'll no doubt mention this a little more in future shows, but there you go. Go and place your vote once again. But let's leave it there. Thank you as always for listening. Hopefully I'll be back in the swing of things now. I've got an idea for another episode that I've been working on for a little while now. So hopefully that will be with you soon. And then I need to start looking towards the Wales and Latvia preview. Plenty still to come. So until the next time, take care of yourselves. Cheers.